I'm just giving you guys all a few minutes till you come on. And I don't know if anyone joined on Facebook yet. I'm getting all sorts of messages. Right around this time, I always get a million messages. These are all Facebook messages, though. I have a complaint to make, so I'm waiting for everyone to come on. It's Monday. And we all know how Mondays feel for all of us, or many of us. And I didn't even work today, and I love my work, and I don't even have like a Monday through Friday work schedule. So like my Monday might be my Friday some days, So I don't even have the rest of like the Monday craze that the rest of you might have. But I tell you what I do have. I have Monday night homework craze. I'm going to get into that. So I'm going to write down topic of the day is Monday night homework craze, because I can't forget. I can't forget to do this. So if you have not tuned in before, let me know where you're actually, let me know where all of you are tuning in from, blah, not what you're tuning in for, but where you're tuning in from. And if it's your first time, and if is your first time, how did you hear about it? So that's a lot of homework for you guys to do on this Monday night. And don't forget to click the thumbs up, because it serves my ego. And the more thumbs up I get, the better it is in YouTube land. So those of you on Facebook, I always tell you every week, just come on over to YouTube. That's where I will be looking to answer any questions that you throw at me. So you can join me and stay here on Facebook, but I won't be able to tune into a lot of your questions because I can't really see them from where I am, and I don't want to wear my glasses. So come over to YouTube. YouTube, if you just go to YouTube, type in Intuitive Medium Deborah Hanlon, and all the rest is there. If you're having trouble, usually Greg is online to help you out how to get there. He usually posts the link. Speaking of Greg, I told him tonight that he should come on the show with me one day, right? That I said, you know what, Greg, the people have spoken, and they are demanding to get to know GK a little better, and to get to know the dynamic of Deborah and GK. And you know what? I think it's time. I can't believe we haven't done that ever. And he has, I don't know how he escaped me from asking him, but I think it's time. I think the world needs to see just how opposite we are. Like, the yin yang, the black, and there's a little bit of white in the black part of the yin yang. There's a little bit of white in the black part of the yin yang. Well, did I say the same thing twice? But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So that's us. That is us. We could not be two of the most opposite human beings on the planet in like every way, except morally. I do think morally we're on the same page, and I think that's the glue that keeps us together, because I don't know. I don't know what keeps us together. Maybe, the opposites attract bullshit, but I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know. So yes, next week, if all of you completely, really get behind, if there's like a groundswell of popular opinion of everyone who's so faithful to listen to YouTube every night or every Monday night, please give your vote to why you think Greg should come on this show. Yeah. And maybe he just stays for like 10 minutes. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that's worthy. So hello, I'm seeing Colorado tuning in. Hey, Annie, how are you? Yeah, see, people are already speaking. I'm seeing upstate, Clifton Park. I'm going to be in your area. I'm going to be in Albany on October 16th at the Polish American Community Center. Then I'm going to be back in Cohoes in November. So I have a lot of stuff going up there. Well, those two going up there. I also am going to be in Hudson on Thursday, November 7th, I believe that is. So I'll be in Hudson, New York. I'm going to be up in that area a lot. So the background, Kyle, yes. So the background, I tried to change the background. Remember last week, people were confused why it was daylight in the background. And so I went to try to change it tonight, and I couldn't find all my saved pictures, and apparently they all got deleted. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to put the green background against my black hair and my black shirt and the black uh, mic here, and I think it contrasts nicely. So that is why the background's gone. So I have to load them up again. But I'm just giving you guys a little variety. That's what I think you need. Stuyvesant, New York. See, I'm gonna be up that way. Yeah, everyone is voting for Greg to come. Janine, thank you for buying my books. On that note, November 10th, I'm doing a book club locally to Newburgh at the Bark and Goose bookstore and bar. And if you, I don't, that's a hard one to say. So I'm gonna call it the Bark and Goose from now on. But that's coming, so you can sit with me, have a little round table with me to ask me questions about the book and maybe what certain chapters. And I remember I wrote the chapter on grief on my retreat to Italy, and that day on that retreat, I decided not to go along with the rest of the group. I was very much like, oh my God, I have to write this chapter. I will never forget that chapter because I was sitting under an Italian veranda or on a veranda overlooking just the most beautiful scenery ever. And that is where the chapter on grief, just that's where I was sitting when I wrote that. So stuff like that, information like that's going to come through. Oh, someone's at JFK. Is that the airport? You're talking about the airport? Yes, Sharon is suggesting yes for Greg to come on, but yes, Greg did get banned from meditation because he snores too much, even though he calls it relaxation breathing. It's not. It's called snoring. And if anyone else happens to go out and break out into a snore in meditation, it happens sometimes. I can gently like go over and touch like your toe or something, or your foot, and I'm like, oh, just, whatever. But Greg, I'm like grabbing him, like, be quiet, you're disturbing everybody. So he stopped coming. Yep, see, everybody needs to see you, Greg. They need to see. They do. Jody, I'm going to be at the Club Helsinki in Hudson on Thursday, November 7th. So that's that. I believe the tickets are online already. It'll be on my website. So go to my website calendar and then click on that date. It should take you to how to get your tickets. So, okay. So a lot of you are tuning in. Sharon's husband got banned for being a jerk. I don't remember that. Oh, you banned him. I didn't ban him. But I don't even remember him being a jerk. But maybe I wasn't being that psychic that night. I don't know. So for those of you who are just tuning in, you're like, what the heck is this? I don't know what this is, honestly. It's YouTube Live. It's Monday night at 8:30 in New York. And I come on every Monday and I just answer your questions. And I will preface that by I don't take your personal intuitive questions in this format, although every once in a while I do throw that in, but it's not often. So it's just questions about how all of this works, how it works for me, my thoughts on whatever you want to ask. I mean, I don't know, we do a lot about past life in here. I feel like you could watch a lot of episodes in the past to talk about past lives, but just anything about energy, how to increase your energy, what is detrimental to your energy, all sorts of things like that. A lot of Albany people are tuning in. So Albany, I'm going to be October 16th at the Polish American Community Center and the Cohoes Music Hall on November 6th. I cannot believe I'm remembering these dates. So, they're right in front of me, but I'm remembering them. I'm at the Wood in Highland, New York, which is slightly above Marlborough, across from Poughkeepsie on October 2nd. So that's coming up soon. I don't know if they're sold out or not. I have no idea. The Goodwill Fire Department, October 11th. So everyone always asks me, are you like really busy this time of year? Because the Halloween and the Day of the Dead and All Saints Day and all that. And that question used to drive me crazy because I'm like, no, because like life is happening and people are passing and people are grieving like all year round. It's not just now. However, yes, I am always ridiculously busy in October, end of September, all through October, mid-November. It's just hell on earth. And I probably work about 6.5 days a week. So It's crazy. Thank God I love what I do for the most part. When I'm drained, I check out. That's when I've got GK to take over with like basic mundane tasks, and that's why it works. Um, let's see. Let me scroll down or up. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Steve. You met me at the Hudson Valley Rib Fest. Oh my God, that day was so hot. I was dying. I was like, I gotta go. I'm gonna pass out. It was so hot, but that was an interesting event for sure. Let's see. The website to order tickets from. So all the connections to, because I have so many different venues. The main hub would be my website, which is deborahhanlon.com. Why is this here? Oh, I just realized what I did. Hold on, guys. Let me see something. I just realized, oh, I changed the everything. I didn't even notice that before. Oh, deborahhanlon.com. Let me see if I can change this real quick. Oops. One moment, please. I'm typing and you're not seeing what I'm seeing. Hanlon.com. We're going to change that. Watch how magically, look at that. So deborahhanlon.com is my website. Click on calendar. And once you see the calendar, you can scroll through the months and it's all color coded. I forget which color is which, like which is meditation, what's a gallery, but that's how you can find the links to different dates and whatever ones you want to attend. So that's the way you can order. I don't know. My mouth stopped working right there. No idea. So go to my website, go that way. I'm seeing questions come in. Yes, Melissa, Hudson is close to Athens, New York. Yes. Okay. So let's start with your questions. Usually I have a lot of stuff written up on top, and I just dawned on me that all of that was gone. So, oh well, I think we're coping nicely. So Jody writes in, you are an empath and people suck the energy out of you. I distance myself all the time, but it causes me to not have many friends. How do I learn to deal with this? One, I think it's really good to not have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of friends. No, I have a lot of friends, but I don't have a lot of friends that suck on my energy. That's for damn sure. In fact, all of my friends know, never call me. I will never call you back unless it's like a major dire emergency. I'm that kind of friend that I will never speak to you on the phone because the phone drains the shit out of me and I avoid it at all costs. I hate when a teacher is like, oh, just give me a call. I'm like, okay, oh, great. All right. I have to like work myself up to calling a teacher for like 3 hours beforehand. So how do you help from having people suck the energy out of you? Depends on the situation. Sometimes you can't help it. Like at work, sometimes you can't because you have to help or take care of people or be assistant of, to people. So you have to be mindful of where people do need your energy and where they don't. So making some real clear lines for yourself. I'm not saying you tell people, hey, this is not the arena for you to suck the energy out of me. But in your own mind, where are the people that you do either want to give your energy to or you absolutely have to give your energy to? So family, if you have children, they have to have your energy. I'm not saying to give it all to them, but they have to. Then work. I would say family first, then work, and then friends, unfortunately. And good friends know that. So really come up with some good boundaries in your own space of like, okay, who gets what piece of me? And don't forget to include yourself, to give yourself back to yourself. That's huge. Let's see, what else? I am always very much, and my mind is always not changing, but the empath and the flip to the empath is the narcissist dynamic. And I really don't like all of the social media buzz about the two opposing narcissist empath dynamic because there's really nothing that is offered that's very helpful, in my opinion, to the empath. And if all the information on narcissists is true and they will never change, then why are we reading so much about them? So I always say like, okay, what does this matter to me? How do I handle each situation? So I don't like to place a label on being empathic, although it is something. It really does exist. But I also then tell people to take your awareness further. And this is for self-growth. It's not for the people around you. It's for self-learning. whoever's energy is draining you, really start to identify what it is about their energy and get really honest with yourself about what is it about them that's draining you. Are are they, in your opinion, coming off like they know more than you, or are they trying to make you feel less than? Um, are they are they aggressive? Are they not aggressive enough? Are they making all the decisions? Are they not letting you? Like, really start to identify in different people what it is that's really kind of irking you or draining you. Then I want you to notice that very aspect in yourself and whether, oh, well, I'm really not good at making decisions. So somebody who's a very strong decision maker might be someone who pushes you away or drains your energy because it's not like your energy field. So once we start recognizing that, we lower the tolerance for judgment on them or ourselves. So I would say use the opportunity for creating boundaries within yourself, and then for really learning, maybe a lot of times people's energy drain us because we're rushing to judgment and they're in our head and we're like, oh, I know them, blah, 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 blah. So be mindful of that. Be very, very mindful. People hate me for my response on empaths because all the research and all the information out there is basically like, oh, surround yourself in white light and put crystals all over you. And I say bullshit. That doesn't work. I mean, if you believe that's going to work 100%, it'll work because your mind is the powerful machinery behind that. I don't believe white light and crystals are going to help me get drained. You know what's going to help me get drained? A vacation. A vacation is going to help me not get drained. A vacation where no one comes with me. Maybe one person, maybe the boys, but only if they have like basketball courts that they can play on 24/7 and I can just lay on a beach. That's my dream. So be mindful. I'm not one to subscribe to all the typical things you're going to hear from psychics. And I'm not saying they're wrong because crystals have energy in them and they're beautiful things, but I am very much on a grounded human perspective for the masses, more from just for those who just believe in crystals and all that. So that was a little bit more on your question, Jody, but I hope that helps. Those first two things, boundaries and then a self-growth opportunity, is huge. All right. Let's see. Christine, I like this question. She's asking, if loved ones are in many different places all at once, does that mean I have to be cautious of what I say and do in fear of what the past one thinks? It's a great question. No, you don't. And here's why. What liberates those who have what we call crossed over, which is a terrible term only because they've not gone anywhere, and the crossed over or gone to the other side, that all makes our human brains think that they are somewhere else, when actually the very opposite is true. They are more here and more present than ever before. But what frees them is their ability to no longer come from the limited human mindset that we are all currently trapped in. So our soul is housed in our bodies, and that body has taken on an identity, and that identity really, really buries the soul. When our soul is buried, we become really attached to our human identity. My identity name is Deborah. My title or role is medium. I'm a mother of three. I'm blah, blah, blah. All those roles begin to cloud my being, because my being is pure energy, which is the exact same as what's in all of you tuning in. So when they're in that space, there is no judgment. There is no, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you thinking like that? Or, I can't believe you. You were a real asshole all along. They're not thinking that because those are human concepts. What they are aware of is your humanness. And they're aware of it from a non-judgmental place. It doesn't hurt their feelings if you were angry at them. It doesn't upset them if you lied to them. Isn't that crazy? Here it does. Here it matters. It very much matters here. And it will matter if we do mindful, intentional wrong to anyone or anything on the planet here. There is what's called that karmic return. So there is a paying for it, or a bounce back, if you will, but they are not upset. So what is the best way to be is what is truthful and authentic to yourself, because our true and authentic thoughts and feelings are the closest layer to our soul than our human stuff. So if people say, oh, it's not nice to be so angry, if you have a real anger about someone or something, I'm willing to guess it came from somewhere else, and you honor that. Doesn't mean it's true or right at all, but it's right for you in that moment. And when you leave your human body, that will all pass. So on that note, you wrote the second part of that is, do they also read minds? They are the mind. They are the consciousness. So reading minds is just that there's a thought form or thought pattern that pops up in our brains, and that brain is processing a thought that came from, say, I call it universe, God, higher power, whatever you want to call it. So they are that. So they also are, in essence, also your thoughts, which is throwing everyone off now because everyone's like, wait, what? We are not separate. We're not separate. That's the bottom line. We're not separate. We're all the same energy in different forms of that energy, trying to understand what that big energy is through little pieces. It's that whole hologram example, that a hologram is made up of images within the whole of the image is in each individual pixel. I don't know if that's the proper term, but in each little image of the full picture. That's exactly what we are made of. So they are the mind. So are they reading our minds? No, they are the mind. They're one and the same. Consciousness, mind, I use them interchangeably. Separate the word mind from brain. Those are two different things. The brain is the processor of the human experience that we've had here. And there's collective brain awareness throughout time, through our DNA, that I believe geneticists are proving every day that our cells and our DNA strands are carrying memory. So there's a lot more to that. And that's stored in the processor of the brain. The mind is the universal consciousness. Two different things. Are you guys still with me? Did everyone was like, oh, hell no, this is Monday night, and I'm not going to get so deep. On that note, let me just pause because I said Monday night. So can we just talk about this for a minute? It's totally not spiritual at all. In fact, it's the opposite. It's the fact that modern day children come home and they don't have textbooks anymore. This is true. And I'm sure chiropractors are equally upset and happy. Happy because no one's breaking their back anymore, but upset because now they have no more clients. But their backpacks aren't full of books. It's got a Chromebook. And contained within that Chromebook is the genius idea of, hey, all your shit is in one place and it's accessible by one finger touch, by a keypad. That's less than stellar, in my opinion. But anyway, so we have homework and we have to look stuff up. This was for what's called living environment, also known as biology, in my mind. I call it biology. It's just science. Biology, living environment. Anyway, and the questions, we didn't know them because I'm not a biologist. I didn't know the difference between a eukaryote and prokaryote. And yes, I could Google it. But I figured, why Google it when I think the whole point of school is to be able to boil everything down to your resource called the freaking book and look it up. So where's your book? We don't have a book. What do you mean you don't have a book? This is my book. Oh, the textbook's here? Because I've seen other classes have like pages that you have to flip with a cursor, and it brings such a headache even thinking about it. Well, they don't have the book. I'm like, well, where are we supposed to get this information from? Which is kind of a hilarious question because I say, oh, pluck all information that you need from the universe. Well, that doesn't work when it's freaking 9th grade living environment, aka biology. So I would like to know how many of you have had this experience of having to work on a Chromebook for homework, because personally, I don't think it works. Maybe I'm like one of those people like way back in the 50s, we had to get up to change our channel. Actually, that was when I was young too. That was long after the 50s, but you guys know what I'm saying. We had an ice block sent to our freezer. That maybe I'm being like that, But oh well, I want a book. I want to flip through pages. And then if I read something and it's on both sides, I can flip back real quick and I can look again and I could stay within the chapter and not somehow end up on chapter 46. So does anyone else feel me on this? This Chromebook madness is crazy. Plus, I'm ADD. I don't know if you know this about me. Shocker. But I do have like diagnosed ADD. My son also has diagnosed ADD. And everyone's wondering why he can't do the homework. And then they send them home to me to sit on a Chromebook to do more homework. This way it's not working. So I'm not spiritual on a Monday evening when I can't find a book and a resource. I could Google it. This is true. I know this. But that's not the point. Because if that's the case, then why are we sending them to school at all if we could just Google everything? So yeah, I'm done. I'm done with the Chromebook nonsense. I posted this on Facebook earlier for a little bit support because I'm like, I can't be the only one on this. And someone did say, oh, I request the textbook. This was like, okay, I've only had children in school for 100,000 years, or it feels like it. But I'm requesting textbooks. So if your teachers are tuning in and you happen to have my 2 remaining high school students left, an email's coming. So you might as well prep the textbook and start sending it home with my children because I need a textbook, like stat. Oh gosh, yeah, you guys, yeah, you agree. Oh my God, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. Yes, so you guys do get it. Greg said, "Oh boy, here we go." No, I'm like so enraged by it. And then I'm getting enraged for this poor kid where I'm like, "Where's the textbook? We don't have a textbook." "What do you mean you don't have a textbook? You have to have a textbook." Then I could like kick into like real parent style and be like, "What are my taxes paying for?" But I don't do that. I don't really care. Well, I do care, but whatever. So yeah, I'm glad you feel me. And I know a lot of my son's teachers tune in, so I'm not kidding. If you are one of them, just send it home already because an email is coming and not a phone call. I'm not calling you about this. An email is getting sent. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, so all of you tuning into YouTube, normally you don't see the green screen behind me, but I kind of messed up the background and I don't have, it didn't save all of the backgrounds that we had, and I don't know why. We have to do a little research on that. So I kind of liked the green against the black shirt, to be totally honest. I was like, you know what? My hair looks really black, and I just got out of the shower, and it's really like soft right now. So I was like, it's good. I'm gonna use it. So there was no other real big reason other than I liked my black hair against it. Which, by the way, my hairdresser also agrees that my hair looks exceptionally dark on these YouTube videos, but it's really not this dark in person. It's much lighter, and I probably need to get my roots done. Anyway, okay. Oh, Maria, this is a great question. Back to the regularly scheduled programming. Historically speaking, do you know when intuitive mediums were first acknowledged for their gift, and was Edgar Cayce an intuitive medium? Great question. Ooh, you would think I would know this. I mean, I do know this. It's somewhere up in that brain file there. I'm just trying to retrieve it. By the way, do you know when you look up, that means that we're trying to remember something. Notice every time you're trying to remember something, we look up, and I think it's look up to the left is what people say they do. It's been around for years. I don't know. I mean, I personally always say this is my opinion. I haven't heard this anywhere else, like technically, but I really always thought the story of Easter was Jesus talking about like we come back from the dead, meaning not like, oh, let me roll the tombstone over and pop right out and be like, my bad, haha, look at this is eternal life. I didn't interpret it that way. I thought he meant there was life, there was consciousness after we died, and that you guys will be able to hear me. He knew his disciples. So were they doing like preparatory mediumship during their like disciple talks? Perhaps. Maybe the Last Supper was really like a wine and spirits gallery. It's possible, you guys. It is possible. But that is my thought. I literally thought that that's what Jesus meant. I always thought that. Like that. It was shocking when I learned. I think I think I was a teacher's assistant in second grade, and that's the grade at a Catholic school. And the kids were going through their communion, and the teacher was teaching it like, no, the tomb rolled, the stone rolled over, and he came out. And I remember being like, wait, what? I was 20 at that time. So that's when I learned, like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. There's like a literal explanation for this. Like, and people are believing that. I don't. You might. I don't. But not you, Marie. I know you wouldn't, but it's to me, no, no, it's not literal at all. Um, but I thought that, but I would say long before. I mean, Native Americans, natives anywhere, they always had interest in spirits. So I would say long, probably when history started, as far as humans and being connected to the environment. I just don't know what's been the earliest recorded history about it, but that's definitely something that we could look up in my son's Chromebook. Not. Edgar Casey, he's never described, or I've never seen him as described as a medium. And Kevin Tedeschi is the CEO of the Edgar Casey Foundation in Virginia Beach. He's the one that wrote the little blurb on the back of my book. He's a really fascinating, brilliant man. And he would definitely have the answer to this, but I've never seen Edgar Casey described as a medium, but I would totally think he's a medium, absolutely. But I've never seen it say like medium Edgar Casey. It's usually, if I'm not correct, not mistaken, it's psychic Edgar Casey. His stuff is fascinating. I mean, I'm learning more stuff about him all the time because of Kevin Tedeschi, actually. And what a cool guy. It's like I want to be him, but you guys think I am him, but I think he's like, whoa, he's like the Einstein in the group here. I'm like Barney Rubble. That's the first thing that came to my mind. So I've never been associated with Barney Rubble. Fred, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, look, a squirrel. Medication ran off. Let's see. Kyle. So going off the empath question, can't we also control it? Can't we choose who we allow to drain us? If we're accepting, won't it help? To a degree, absolutely, for sure. We can definitely choose who we allow to drain us for the most part, although sometimes we're in a space. I mean, sometimes I'm in situations and I am so drained and I can't fix it or control it. So I've been told that I just stare people in the face and then walk away mid-sentence, and I've become aware of the fact that sometimes I do that, but I'm trying not to be so blatantly like, wow, she just checked out. But yeah, we can control it for the most part, but I think untrained empaths also don't know it's coming and you don't realize it until later, and that's always like really fun. So before you're even aware that that's what's going on, that too much stimulation is draining you, you won't be so conscious about it. But once at that point, you will be. And I have a tight little ship at this point in my life. I barely go out. Sounds like I have agoraphobia. I never, a friend of mine recently was like, come to a concert with me. And I was like, do you not know me? Like, a concert to me is my worst nightmare. It's not fun. Every once in a while, Elton John I'll go to. Lady Gaga I'll go to. But concerts are like a nightmare. Not because I'm picking up on everyone's energy, but because I'm overstimulated. So you just also might be someone who's overstimulated. Walmart, I will not go into a Walmart to save my life because of the, well, I don't think I have to explain, but the energy in Walmart, the lights alone in a Walmart are crazy. Okay, Darlene, you've been doing genealogy research and you were wondering if ancestors are here with us or see who knew us like great grandparents and closer. Yes, they also are here with us. It's funny that I take your question right after Kyle's, because Kyle, you'll have to write down, I don't remember who it was, but Kyle came with me on my retreat to the Dominican Republic last February. I have more information on the retreat too, remind me. And her great somebody totally came through. And it wasn't someone she knew. If I'm corrected, Kyle, you can correct this. but she knew stories of. So the stories were coming through. So yeah, they can come through. They don't come through often in readings because a lot of times we don't know the information. So that's my guess as to why. But they're always around you. And as soon as you cross over, you know exactly who they are. Your great, 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 whatever. You'll know exactly who they are, which is huge. Oh, yes, Colleen, that's a good question. God, I feel like I took on like a very strong Irish brogue. Oh, yes. I don't know what happened there. But are they aware when we're hurting? Absolutely, they're aware when you're hurting. They just don't react to hurting because think about it. When someone is hurting in front of us, here we react to it. We either are angry that whatever happened to them made them hurt. Maybe we're sad for them. Maybe we don't have time for them. Maybe we're annoyed by the hurting. Whatever the case may be, we have a reaction to someone else hurting. Maybe we want to fix it. Maybe we want to run from it. But they don't have a reaction. It's just a holding space for, a presence for. So they can't fix it. They can't solve it. They know they're not supposed to, because even our hurt, if we really open ourselves up and get surrounded by the people we need and the energies we need and the information we need, hurting can stop and move forward and be a very, very impactful experience and seed for growth if we let it and we surround ourselves with the proper tools and foundation for it. It can help us. So they're aware of all of that. So they're not going to try to stop it, because that's like taking a baby who's about to walk and telling them, don't worry, I'll carry you for the rest of life. You're just going to really do more damage to that child by not letting them experience the hurting of falling down versus, the just trying to save them and put them in their back. So they're not reacting to it. Hold on, I need water. I'm now reading all of your suggestions for books. Oh, kids nowadays, Melissa says she wished she had saved the encyclopedias for your grandchildren. They would literally look at those as if they're like an artifact. It's crazy. Maria, they will say, Maria says, I think schools should offer classes to parents to help them better manipulate the technology that kids glide through. I agree, but then they'll say, we did a presentation in the beginning of the year, and you're like, what? Are you kidding me? I wasn't even paying attention because I can't. I can only take like 20 minutes of information at a time. So, oh my God, it's torture. It's torture. And the pad, I'm sorry, that pad, I mean, it could be worse. I will say that. It's a pretty decent machine. Weighs 8,000 pounds, so they might as well have those books in their backpack. But the keypad thing, I'm also a Mac girl. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Oh, Janine, I'm just seeing this question. So not sure if your questions are being posted. They are. When we are born, do we know when we will die? Yes, absolutely. We do. Before we're born, we even know that. Are we a certain age when we die? That differs for everybody, but we do know what that date is. And if a loved one died and missed us, can they help us or rush us up there? They cannot rush us up there. They don't miss us. We miss them. They don't miss us because they're not disconnected from us. They're more connected than ever before. But they can't help us. The only thing they have no any domain over is our time here on earth. So a lot of times I get a lot of people who are angry, say a parent has passed and also their child has passed, and they're so angry, like, why did my dad let my child pass? So I hear that all the time, but they can't fix it. They cannot fix it. It's a great question. Lots of good questions. Melanie Pink. Oh my God, Melanie. I can't believe you even mentioned Pink. Yes, I would go to a Pink concert. I listen to her all the time. And during summer camp, I played her because we were doing an activity on being angry. And I feel like Pink is like the best angry woman songwriter ever. And Alanis Morissette's pretty good too. So yeah. Wow, Kyle is your great, great, great grandfather. That is so freaking cool. I know. You guys are making fun of me for the Fred and Barney thing. I have no freaking idea where that came from. If someone's father is Barney or someone has a loved one tuning in whose name is Barney, we're going to go with that's why I said it. Veronica, when people speak of soulmates, is there a specific person or soul you're destined to find every time you're born? If that is in your life path, that lifetime, yes. If there are certain, and there always is. And soulmates, remember, can be a child, a soulmate can be a coworker, a soulmate could be a sibling. It doesn't always just have to be a romantic partner. And I think people really always expect it to be that, but a soulmate could be a pet. So you can have soulmates of many different degrees, and you could have many soulmates in one lifetime. So, and that doesn't mean you stay together forever. Sometimes soulmates have the biggest like breakups too. Um, and my definition of a soulmate is someone who really just advances your evolution, your spiritual evolution. Is there a specific person you're destined? But if yes, there's a specific person or soul that's destined before you come in. Um, and you can't not meet them. You can't not, because if it's destiny, it will happen. Greg is telling me to tell you guys the Walmart story. I think a lot of you have heard the Walmart story. If you take my energy transformation awareness class, it literally comes up in every single group because we do a whole thing about the energy of different rooms in your houses and stores and places, and to pay attention. And I bring up that story. It's terrible. Let's see. I'm not sure I understand your question, Maria, but I find it interesting and ironic that some people who are perceived as people persons, yes, are equally exhausted by others. Makes sense. You need quiet and solitude so much. Yes. Well, I always think of Robin Williams. He was such a people person, and he has the opposite extreme. So I think a lot of people persons, people. Yeah, people persons. Um, Probably need it in doses and not later. So the only crowds I like, the only groups I like are the ones that I'm leading. Does that make me sound like an asshole and like so like full of myself? Because I don't intend it to. But those are the only ones I like. Other than that, I get crazy in a movie theater. I don't like the fact that it takes 9 hours to open up a bag of like jujubes, because why? It's the crinkling of the paper makes me crazy. The crunching of the ice, the popcorn make me nuts. I can't have it. Maybe I'm just psychotic. I don't know. I need quiet and solitude a lot too, Maria. I really do. I love it. When no one's home, I'm always like, what? It's just a different feeling in your house when no one's there versus like my kids are in their rooms right now, but their energy's in the house. You know, Greg's here and his energy's in the house. I could feel it. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, that is so good, Grace. Okay, so you just reminded me. Just had your passport updated. Woohoo for Italy. So I am this close to getting dates. It's looking like July 11th to 18th. I'm waiting for the feedback from the woman named Marilyn, who owns this unbelievably beautiful home in the hills of Tuscany, where we will eat from the food from her land, and we'll have a cook who will teach us how to make Italian food if you wish to participate in that. We will visit different cities like Rome, of course, St. Francis of Assisi, Orvieto. I can't remember the rest. And it's a retreat with me. And it's a limited amount, and I'll get you all that information soon. But that's just like hot off the presses about like 2 hours before I came on. So just waiting to hear back from Marilyn for her to say yes to the dates. And then once we do, the rest are all details. So put it on your calendar. It will definitely be in July, because she gave me certain weeks in July. So you could count on that, which is very exciting. I had a magical experience in Italy. I've led it twice. I co-taught it with Linda Riccici one year, and then the second year, Linda Riccici and Ann Quinn. This year, I'm flying solo, so it's all me in Italy. I'm trying to get GK to come, although he has a heating and air conditioning business. Summertime's the busiest time, and he doesn't do well in heat, and Italy in the summer is really hot. It's like blazingly hot. So we're still feeling our way out on whether he's going to do that or not. Oh, let's see. Oh, Grant, thank you for that comment. I'm going to be back at the Polish Hall in Albany. So October 16th, I'll be back. So hopefully you and your wife will be back there as well. Maria, it's time. It's time for you to come on one of my trips for sure. Definitely, it's magical. I can't even tell you. I can't even. It's amazing. And it's a lot of sightseeing, and then always a day of downtime where we lay by an infinity pool at this gorgeous, it's not a resort, it's her private home, but it is a ginormous, you can just hike, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Surrounded by a bajillion, that's a technical term, sunflowers in her fields that you could go walk through. You can go see the grapes that are growing on the vines in the vineyards at her house. It's just ridiculous. So that's going to be super magical for sure. Okay, so let's see where we are. Let me see what else I have. Oh my God, how did I forget about this? Wednesday. My center, my yoga teacher, Kelly Cam, did a workshop, and a bunch of you were there, called Yoga Stories. And what she does is she teaches, or she tells stories of Hindu mythology. And the way she tells a story just pulls you in. Like, I literally feel like I'm a kindergartner, like hanging on every word, and you like go right into your imagination. You like can really visualize and see all of the information that she's telling you. It's like nothing I've seen before. I'm not kidding. So she really draws you in, and the way she tells a story, and then she brings up how each character is, and then afterwards there's like a discussion about which part of the story did you relate to the most, or have you ever seen yourself or a side of yourself as that character or that god or that goddess. It's phenomenal, and it's such an introspective night, and it is so different than anything I've ever offered at the center. It's the second time she's coming back. She was here in September. No, it is September. She was here in July. She's now September. It's Wednesday from 6 to 7:30. It's $25. It's 15 for kids. It's virtual, so you can attend online as well. And if you can't attend it right then, you can have it recorded and watch it later. So there's a lot of different options. So I have to throw that out there. It's amazing. Yeah, Sharon is saying yoga stories, fantastic, do it. And she's telling different stories. So if you did come last time and you can come this time, she's bringing a bunch of different myths. So it's amazing. So look out for that. Also, I have the Hospice Witch Hat event at Anthony's Pier 9 on October 23rd. That's a huge fundraiser for hospice of Orange and Sullivan counties, and all of that's on my website too. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Sharon, you just can't not love Kelly. She's ridiculous. She's gorgeous. She's the most unassuming. Like, she has tattoos everywhere. She looks like, I don't know, like she makes me want to have tattoos all over my hands and arms because it looks so good on her. And let me tell you guys, it would not look good on me. It'd be horrible. But like, she'll have hands, and I'm like, oh my God, I've always wanted a hamsa on my arm. And she has like words. And I'm like, oh, it's so cool. I couldn't pull it off, but she really does. So it's so worth a midweek night out. It's introspective. It's calming. It's just, I don't know. My teenage son and his girlfriend went, and they were like, oh my God, this is so stupid. And they loved it and talked about it for hours later. And we still even bring up different story, characters in the story. Like, I'm Parvati, she always says. So they really even learned, and they loved it. So amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, I know you're asking questions. Sorry, I'm going off on a different tangent. Okay, so Kimberly, you're asking more of a nuts and bolts question. Facebook people, I always forgot that you're over here. So you guys are hanging in tight. That's good. If you want to ask a question, you can come on over to YouTube to ask it. So Kim is asking, when you are giving a reading and the spirit brings up something familiar, are they speaking directly to you or showing you pictures or signs? All of the above. Pictures, signs, sometimes speaking. Sometimes they do word associations. Like if they're trying to get me to say the name Tom, they'll show me Tom Hanks. My skill is to determine which, are they showing me Tom Hanks, or are they showing me Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump? to differentiate what the meaning is. So that's where mediumship and the real nuances of mediumship get, where you have to hone your skill. They use my physical body, so I feel physical feelings. If someone passed of a chest or an impact to the chest, like a heart attack or an accident, I always feel it like this, literally. Um, if someone lost a leg, I'll like feel all of a sudden the leg is gone, mine is gone. So it's just one of those um, things. You're just super tuned in to all the, I call it data. It's all this data that's around me, this information, and I'm just plugging into it and discerning it, making it understandable. I taught a class on mediumship over the summer, and I was able to teach a technique to really, really accelerate the class to how to tap in much faster. And I was pretty impressed with the group's abilities. That's for sure. That's the word I'm trying to get. Okay. Janine again. When we pass, we will see everyone we know, right? Will we see everyone we know right away? Yes. And everyone you don't know right away. And you will see me, and you'll know exactly who I am, and you will know exactly who my family members who've crossed over are and all the connections to them. You will know everything. It's like a network, and all of a sudden it just spreads. Like everyone you've ever touched or touched you, it spreads, and you get the connection with everyone who's connected to that person. It's pretty amazing. Who meets us right away? That's a hard one to answer. It's also a misleading question because some people, I've heard many, many times, I saw my mom, I saw this one, I saw that one. But it doesn't mean like, it's not necessarily literal, except in times they'll say that they saw someone before they've passed. That would be more literal. Like, oh my gosh, my mom was right there and I knew that she was before I was crossing over. My mom was talking to her mom, that kind of thing. But once you've crossed over, it's not like a first, second, third anymore. It's just a all awareness presence. Do they swarm us? So that's the swarming. But it's not like oh my God. It is and it's not. It's hard to explain because it sounds like, oh my God, it's going to be so shitty when I get there. Like no one's going to care. No, it's like all of a sudden the lights go off and go on, really. You become the light. And you're just connected in a way to everyone and everything like never before. And it all makes sense. That's the best way I can explain it. And will you go see someone like Prince? Yes. If you want to see Prince, you will have Prince be part of your arriving party. Sure. Let's see. When meaning me. Okay, when meaning me have been contacted numerous times, the one it passed, then it stops. Okay, when it stops, people were asking that last time. It usually means either you are not in as much need in the moment to really keep pulling on them, or it's that other things are going on in your life, like your mind is more preoccupied. It is more something to do with you than it does with them because they're present all the time. So it's not like they really left. It's just that our consciousness and our awareness is not lined up as well as maybe it had been prior for a million reasons. But usually it boils down to you don't need it as much, or your mind is just preoccupied with so many other things including emotions as well. Emotions are things. I see you all talking amongst yourselves. Maria, I like that. Do you ever wonder why I was chosen to receive this gift? Was there ever a time you wanted to give it back? Never wanted to give it back. Never think of it as a gift. In my opinion, I have an incredible desire to learn about myself and energy and life and the afterlife and what is real and what is not real and philosophical questions. It's all I care about. So it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like asking, did you ever wonder if Beyonce, like if she didn't want to sing, like she was here, that's her passion. It's what she is, J-Lo dancing and singing and baseball players to play baseball. So I think that on some level I have just this much more interest in this. So my according to Malcolm Gladwell from The Tipping Point, how he says you have to have 10,000 hours practice in something to become an expert. I had 10,000 hours logged by a very young child in all of this, in religions and my upbringing, my story. It is my natural predisposition. I really care about people and their consciousness and changing it. So it's just, I think it's more my passion that because I love it, I got good at it. I always say we're all intuitive. Every human being on the planet, we're all animals. We all have the instinct, but you just might not be really into it to do it for yourself. Like I like to hear Beyonce sing, but I'm definitely not interested in trying to sing. So to me, it's the same type of analogy. So I don't think I was chosen in the way that I think people think the word chosen means. I think it's my passion. I love it. So therefore I put all my time and energy and effort into this, which is, you can't not get good at something if you don't put all your time and energy into it. And there are times when I don't want to do it. There are times, every day I don't want to do it. I put incredible pressure on myself to get it right every single time. I recently met twice, actually, in the last 2 to 3 months, maybe 3 months. I met with parents, two separate parents, not pertaining to each other, and I couldn't read them at all. And my whole thing is often, my gosh, I want to do this just for parents. And then I had 2 in 3 months that I couldn't read. And the last time that had happened was like 2 years ago. So that messes with my brain a little bit, a lot of it. It's not something you can be perfect in. It's not something that I any longer wish to prove to people. And I'm starting to get way more defensive than I should. That's my ego involved. I'm aware of it, but I'm tired of that whole, well, how come they didn't say this? How come they didn't say that? I just feel like I don't really know why they didn't say that. So I have a lot, there's all that stuff. The perfectionism in me doesn't like that aspect of this, but that's more my human part that I bring to a non-human thing. So I know better. I just don't always do better. Like my Maya Angelou, you're Maya Angelou, I should say. Oh my God, Eileen Scanlon. So I hope that answers you, Maria. That's a good question. But I never want to give it back. No, but there are very often times I don't want to do it. I am much more interested in teaching at this point in my life than even doing readings of the mediumship sort. So that is changing and transforming because the mediumship requires a level of perfectionism that I don't feel like I have in me anymore. So it's all changing, but that's what people want from me. So I show up to it, but I want to do much, much more less of that and more things like my energy transformation classes and all that stuff. So if you die, Eileen, first of all, there better not be like a reason for this question, but if you die, what's the best way to contact you? Yes, not with a phone call. Kyle, well done. If the question is if you die, what's the best way to contact you? Trust me, girl, I'm going to know it's you. I'm going to be like, what the hell did you do? Second, if someone else's passes, what's the best way to contact me? Don't. No, I'm just kidding. You'll find me. You'll find me. I don't believe, people really have asked this before. People will say, oh my God, so when spirits see you in the grocery store, do they go, oh my God, that's Deborah, they tell their loved one to find you so that you could tell them messages? No, that's not how this works. Energy is all about like attracts like. So if you're supposed to have a reading that night, you're going to be placed in a place where myself or any other medium or any other person serving as a medium in that point is going to give you a message. So I don't have that. I have an ego, but I don't have that big of an ego to think like they're like, oh my God, there's Deborah, go down to her. That's not how it works. And if it was how it works, they'd be like, no, it's Deborah, stay away from her. Oh, it's so funny. She's crabby tonight. It's Monday. She's working on a Chromebook all night. So, oh, Janine, yes, of course. You're my 1117 girl, duh. Oh, Caitlin, that's awesome. I got your message back today. Caitlin is taking. Oh, Katie, I like your logo. That's fantastic. Caitlin does graphic design work. If anyone is looking at it for it, you can click on her. Oh, I like this question, Yvette. How are we all doing? Let's see. Wow, consistently the same amount of people have stayed on. You're all with me tonight. Thank you. Is it possible to feel the presence of someone who is still alive and thinking you see them in the house when they are not there? Freaks me out and has happened a few times recently. Yes, I think so. Yep. So what the hell do you mean, Deborah? Um, oh boy. I'm trying to think of how to explain this. Do I want to over explain it? Probably not, because it's getting late. The simple answer is presence. Energy is energy, whether they are physically in your house or whether your body, your mind, your consciousness, your auric field are picking up on their energy in the same way it's brought to you. So they're either physically there, or if you're thinking of them, you can physically bring them to you. So now a lot of you are like, yes, that's all I needed to know. I'm trying to date someone. I'm just going to physically bring him into me. So I'm not going there on that one. Kyle, shut up. And Sharon too. And oh, hello, Arizona is here. Lisa. Is it Lisa or Lisa? You can let me. I think it's Lisa. So yes, when you are thinking of someone, you're bringing their energy, or they brought their energy to you. They were thinking of you, and that's why you're feeling their presence in your house. That's a very short way to answer that. Carolyn is going back to my question before. Was there anything I feel as to why I couldn't read them? Yes. Both times I was bounced back with such hardcore skepticism that it shuts me down. And it's not the skepticism that shuts me down as much, because I understand, and I believe every single one of us needs to have a dose of healthy skepticism anytime we sit down with anyone who's going to say, hey, I'm going to tell you anything about yourself. Okay. And that is my job, but I still think people should have healthy skepticism with anyone that they're sitting with, to always keep the power in ourselves, more so than putting it in the hands of anyone else outside of you, whether that is a PhD, scholar, physician, or someone on the street who knows nothing. You know yourself better than any other person on the planet. So you always keep yourself in the place of empowerment, mental, emotional, physical empowerment. So the skepticism was so harsh. It was, in one case, very apparent. I know that with grief, you are so angry and you are hanging on every word I say. And so that kind of backs me up a little bit, because I'm like, that's my human side engaged. And as soon as my human side is engaged, my readings aren't going to be as engaging, because when I'm in a reading, I'm just like, you guys know, I'm just like this now, but I'm not. I'm way more coming from spirit side or energy side than I am my human side. I like lose myself. This, I was still very engaged in myself. There's a part of me where I'm like, oh, I want to prove it to them. And there's a part of me that I know I can't. There's a part of me that knows that I want to heal everything and take care of everything, and then I know I can't. So it was a multiple storm. And a lot of times too, people who don't understand how this works, they literally think, well, ask them what my middle name is, or ask them this. And I'm like, it doesn't really work like that. And if I heard someone say that to me and I'm not schooled on it, there's a part of me that would say, I get it. You think it's crap and fraud and all that stuff. And there's a part of me that I understand why people think that. So I have too much compassion. One person called me lame, and I just had to shut it down right there. I was like, okay, like, we're not going to get anywhere. And I had held this person with such high compassion. And then I was like, okay, I can't. So we're going to try again, maybe. And I think it's my human self got way too engaged with all the things I explained to you. And I just don't like that level of proof and grief anymore. I don't know. I feel like it bothers me now more than when I first started, which is weird to me because I thought it bothered me a lot then, but it bothers me more now. Okay, let's see. All right, so I'm going to start to wrap up because my voice is starting to get a little cracky. And don't forget yoga stories on Wednesday. Bring your teenagers. I promise you they will like it, okay? 6 to 7:30, that's at the center. Book club starting in November at the Barking Goose in Newburgh. That's a really, really cool place. It's a bookstore and bar and restaurant the same. It's amazing. You should start to see it. Not start to see it. You should go. That's what I'm trying to say. The Wood in Highland, Goodwill Fire Department, Polish American Community Center in Albany, Helsinki and Cohoes in November, the Hospice Witch Hat in October. I will be on WGNA coming up in the Albany area. What else do I have here? I think that is it. And don't forget, you've got to all bother Greg for this time being because I'm thinking that he is going to be my guest next week on the show. We'll have a different background. Maybe, Greg, how about this? Maybe we should put a photo of our bedroom or a bed. So it'll be like we're sitting up in bed. This is what we do when we're in bed. It's actually sideways because we're like playing back and we're like, oh, you winning? No. You? No. Yeah. No. Oh, that's what we do all night. So maybe that'll be the background. I think that's kind of fun. That means you need to hang up the picture that I've been wanting you to hang up behind the bed so it's prepared. So I think that's a great idea. Everyone have a wonderful week. I hope I see many of you on Yoga Stories. And again, it is available virtually online. So if you're coming from far away and you want to still tune in and you will listen to it later, you'll have the copy of it to listen to it later and share it. That'll be great. Let's see what else. I think I got everybody's stuff. Eileen, don't die. I'll text you in just a moment to see what you're got going brewing there. Don't forget Italy. Italy information is just around the corner, so be completely ready for it. So good night, everybody. I'm shot. So tired. Good night.